Hello and welcome to Radiant PT, where we discuss all things pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum. I'm Caitlin Sue, a doctor of physical therapy specializing in pelvic health. Let's dive in. Today we are talking about tuning in during labor. You may have heard me talk about this before. It's amazing that we now know so much about birth that we can describe all of the cardinal movements and rotations that the baby takes to make its way through the pelvis. We also know biomechanically which positions in labor open up different parts of the pelvis. This is a trendy topic right now, but it can be really overwhelming to learn it all, especially if you're the one giving birth. I can speak from experience. I went into my first birth knowing all the things. I knew all the physiology, all the positions, and all the pushing techniques. But when it came time to find calmness and stillness and tune into what my body and my baby needed, I really struggled. I was excited to be in labor and I couldn't zone in. Birth is not a puzzle to be solved. In fact, using your rational brain or your prefrontal cortex to logic your way through what you should be doing during each phase of labor is a surefire way to actually slow things down, stall them, or make them more painful. We need to stay in the zone, aka labor land. This is where our prefrontal cortex is turned off and our primal brain allows us to tune into what our body and our baby need. We might move, we might push, we might breathe differently based on what we're feeling inside. But how exactly do we do that? Let's talk about the 3 essential ways to tune inward: introspection, interoception, and intuition. How do we use these tools during labor? And how do we start preparing and practicing these skills now during pregnancy? Introspection is the examination or observation of our own internal mental and emotional thoughts and processes. Essentially, it's an awareness of how we're feeling. So why does this matter in labor? Because the cascade of hormones, specifically oxytocin, which progresses uterine contractions, and beta endorphins, which provide natural pain relief, rely on you feeling comfortable and safe. If you're feeling stress, anxiety, or holding on to past traumas, your labor can actually stall. Cortisol and adrenaline, your fight or flight stress hormones, actually block oxytocin and beta endorphins. This is an incredible safety system that we've had since the days when we maybe needed to hold off on giving birth because of something like a nearby predator. But in today's world, a baseline level of increased stress and anxiety is our norm. It is so vital to work through any mental barriers during pregnancy. I highly recommend seeing a therapist and journaling regularly. Work on processing your fears about parenthood, including difficulties that you went through as a child. Address any relationship issues with your partner. Work through your fears about labor, including pain and potential injury, and get crystal clear on how you would actually like your dream birth to look. Then, build a team that supports your vision and allows you to just completely surrender to that process. Having a really solid grasp on your internal state will help you maintain a positive and empowered mindset during birth. Interoception is the ability for us to sense the internal state of our body via physical sensations. This includes feeling your stomach growl when you're hungry, your heart race when you're excited, or maybe your jaw tenses up when you're stressed. You may be consciously and subconsciously aware of some of these sensations, and this skill is really important for self-regulation throughout the day. During labor, our baby has to rotate, flex, and extend to work through the most narrow parts of our pelvis. While we can spend all day learning labor positions and pelvic biomechanics, we cannot see exactly where the baby is in the pelvis, but we can feel it. Pressure, pain, or other physical sensations might be a sign from your body that you need to move more, relax more, change positions, breathe differently. Labor is a dance, hinging on communication between the birther and the baby, and it requires focus on those sensations. To practice the art of interoception, I recommend making mindful meditation a part of your daily practice, specifically one that includes a body scan. Set your timer for 5 to 10 minutes, and without trying to change anything, just notice the sensations that you're feeling in your body. Sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and bring your attention first to the top of your head. Notice your scalp, your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. Can you notice your breathing without trying to change it? Do you feel tension in your shoulders, your abdominal muscles, or your pelvic floor? Do you feel abdominal bloating? Are you hungry, thirsty, maybe a little nauseous? Can you feel the back of your chair on your spine? Can you feel your feet on the floor? Is there any part of you that just feels restless to move? Again, you're not trying to change anything, you're just noticing. Practice this regularly, again, just 5 to 10 minutes, and watch that interoceptive awareness build. Intuition is the ability to understand something immediately, without the need for conscious reasoning. While this may sound a little woo-woo, our intuition stems from our ability to pick up data subconsciously, without our awareness. At any given moment, your brain is taking in hundreds, if not thousands, of sensory input data points. Some of it you might be consciously noticing, like hopefully the words that I'm saying, but some you might actually not be thinking about or noticing, like the color of my microphone, the feeling of your butt in the chair, or the sounds in the room around you. You're still taking in all of that information. Your eyes are still seeing my microphone. But if I hadn't said something to draw your attention to it, your subconscious brain would just filter it out as unnecessary input so that you don't get overwhelmed. Oftentimes when we have a gut feeling about something, it's based on information that we didn't even know that we were collecting. In labor, you might be a little on edge at the hospital because the nurse's body language is indicating that she's nearing the end of her shift. Or maybe your partner's tone of voice is telling you that he's actually really scared. Although our conscious brain is really preoccupied with what's happening with contractions, our subconscious brain is still really perceptive to those types of inputs. And those inputs can help us make quick decisions that feel just like gut decisions. To practice this skill, I recommend taking a pause with most of the decisions that you make during pregnancy. For example, maybe you need to decide if you're going to take a certain birth class, or if you're going to do the glucola drink or ask about alternatives. When the question comes up, take a pause. Find a private space, take a deep breath, and answer to yourself or to your partner, what is my gut telling me first? Then go back and do the research, make your pro-con list, do whatever you need to do to validate your decision. Notice how often that first intuitive response is actually in line with the decision that you end up making. And then just keep building that muscle. Practice taking that pause to ask yourself first before seeking external validation. So there you have it, the 3 vital strategies for tuning inward during birth and the ways that you can start practicing and building those skills during pregnancy. Labor is truly a mental game, and especially in today's medicalized system, it requires you to be in the right state of mind. If you have any questions about this, leave them for me below. I'd also love to hear topics that you'd like me to cover next. You can comment below or find me on Instagram at radiant.pt. As always, remember that this is information and inspiration, not medical advice. Please like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my upcoming weekly content. And thank you. I will see you soon.